What's up, everybody? Welcome back to T-Dog Customs. Today it is a long awaited video. I've been telling you guys that we were going to do this at some point, and today is the day. We are going to be replacing the radiator here and doing some custom mounts welding wise with the fan down in here. It's kind of hard to see, but that's the situation. What we're going to be working on. My cousin is down here as well, and he made this coolant catch can, overflow can. We're going to probably mount in this area here, and then eventually powder coat this teal to match. But today we are just gonna be focusing on the radiator, getting that taken care of. I have the one we're going to be using right here. The issue that we have with this radiator is, if you look down in here, I don't know what's wrong, but either this seam here is messed up or there is a leak somewhere, but there is a slow leak, and every time, sometimes when you go to take off from like a stoplight, you can smell burnt radiator fluid, and I assume the fluid is either, I don't know, where it's coming from really, but there is fluid that is leaking. So today's video, that's what we're going to cover. All right, guys, so first really process that we're going to start with is taking off the accessories, sort of. So Matt is actually working on a mount that will mount off of this intake pipe here to make this bolted down nice and firm, because I used to have a zip tie over here and it was just really weird and nasty. So we're gonna do that. That's what he's working on. I am emptying the radiator because I am gonna reuse this fluid. It's very new fluid. And so took the catch can off, and you can see, I wanted to show you guys this, it's leaking really bad from where the fan shroud is pushing into the radiator. So what we're gonna do is, on the new one, we're going to build or weld these aluminum tabs. That's what his welder's for over here. We're gonna weld those aluminum tabs, and so we don't have this issue again with the new radiator, which is in there. So that's kind of just what we're doing now. I'm about to take this off. We're also going to cut this and re-weld a piece on here that looks better, and then next time I'm up at his house we will powder coat it. But this whole situation doesn't look good, so aesthetically we're gonna fix things with that, but we'll get to that once we get farther on. But for now we're just pulling stuff off. So this is the progress we are making. We got Matt over here welding up some catch can, oil catch can, not an oil catch can, a coolant overflow tank. We got rid of my monster can that I had here for a long time, so we're gonna be mounting it in this area. We also, right here, he already mounted or welded this tab onto the intake. We're gonna put a hole there, and then that way the dipstick will be secured instead of bouncing around. We are also going to be re-welding, cutting this off, re-welding it with the same size radiator bung right here that is here, so it'll be a lot easier for finding a hose that will work. We've got the new rad right here, and then it is about time to pull this actually out. So I'm getting ready to pull that out, and then we can get on the process of transferring everything over to it, welding up the aluminum tabs for the fan so we don't have the problem that has been happening with this, and I will show you guys that once we get the radiator out. And so this is the whole reason we embarked on this whole scenario anyways, is because as you can see we have some major leakage. So I used like these it's like these push ties that you stick in the radiator right here to hold it in. Like they come like this from AutoZone or whatever when you buy a fan. Well, as you can see, this, with how much this Jeep vibrates and how tight this is, you can see it vibrated a hole definitely right here. I'm thinking there was another hole somewhere over here. It looks like maybe up in this area, I don't know, but definitely definitely not ideal. So what we're going to be doing is taking this off. We're going to be moving this over to the new radiator and then welding aluminum tabs that we can secure this to the radiator without actually digging into it or being worried that vibration will affect it. So that's the plan. It'll just be a whole lot better of a situation when we're done with it. So really looking forward to that. Matt's still over here.
Flip that around.
Yep. Got that all tigged up. So we're getting close. This is what it looks like without any radiator. And I might, since I have this out like this, I may try to clean some of that up. We'll see. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. We're gonna be, like I said, taking this off soon. I'll probably wait to do that until we get the radiator in place so we know like what we need to do that way. But yeah, you can see the intercooler piping. Now is a good time. It comes right here, comes right here into the intercooler, right into this part here, and then right around into the intake. So that is it. I'm super stoked about this too. That looks great. And then the catch can, I think I mentioned it earlier, but we are going to be powder coating this at some point to, you know, look better. Because if you notice, this is made out of stainless and this is mild. So all right, I'll update you guys once we get working on this booger right here. All right guys, so we have got the radiator fan on here now. This is what we came up with. We ended up not welding and running these bolt systems through, so that way it's completely removable if we want. And then over here we have these ears bolted directly here. So if you notice, the fan is a little off-centered from the radiator. It's that way on purpose because over here, this pulley where the fan used to go, it needs to miss this fan. So that's the reason why it's not symmetrically in the center. But other than that, we're pretty good. I think we're gonna now start sticking this in here, and then we will need to utilize my other homemade brackets to try to finagle this with 4 mounting points. So there's going to be 1 mounting point at the top on each side, and then at the bottom we'll probably have to drill a hole through here or here, probably this lower section, I think, if I remember correctly, and that will tie it in down here on the bottom. But once we get that tied in, then we can literally start working on this nose right here, this nozzle. And our goal is to reduce the size of this nozzle completely to the same size as this nozzle. That way we can get away with the same hose, because this is the hose I was using, and the nozzles were 2 different sizes, so it was really hard getting a good seal on this top one because it was a little too big. So that's what we're working with now. We're gonna also be mounting this, which is for the overflow tank, so that's all welded up, and things are moving quite fast, so we should have this wrapped up, I would say, easy by today, and put coolant back in it. We should be good to go. So I will update you guys once we get the radiator in, but I'm not going to be able to record the actual process of putting it in. It just doesn't make sense. But you've got the wizard over there doing his wizard stuff. Yeah. Got my cousin over here tigging up the snout for the radiator, top radiator hose here. I have fully got the radiator installed. There's brackets, one there, one here, one right here, and one right here that is holding that in, and like there's no give. We've got plenty of room, if you can see, between the pulley here. Let me see if I can get the light. Yeah, there you go. So plenty of room between the pulley and the fan, so that's not an issue at all. Got that secured. We've got the overflow tank on and secured as well. The last step, I'm getting ready to connect the bottom radiator hose, and I'm getting the wiring right here for the fan all done up. But we're on the home stretch of this, and then we can, I need to get the hose that goes over to here. So need to get that, and then we can go ahead and fill this thing, and hopefully it holds water or coolant like it should, and job will be well done. Oops.
I'll show that.
Alright, so I have just finished getting everything with the radiator done. The bottom hose right there, as you can see, completely ready to put coolant in. I did want to mention this because I don't think I covered it. We also welded a little tab off of here that we just cut out with an angle grinder. It was zip tied to this, so now we actually have something that is somewhat permanent there, and it works. So right now I'm just waiting on Matt to finish welding up the I guess it would be the snout really for this. That will go right to that. I had this piece of hose laying around, so we'll be able to use a portion of the turn to make it perfect, and these are the same size now. So we went from the larger snout, we cut this off and we welded up to a smaller piece of piping, which will allow us to use the same size tubing, a lot easier to find. If something were to break, replacing it will be super easy compared to finding a reduction in piping. That was just a big pain. So yeah, we are 95% done now, and we're just waiting on the last little bit to pop on there. Then we can add the fluid and yeah, go from there. All done. I just wanted to wrap this video up. It is a couple days later than when me and my cousin were working on this thing. We took it for a test drive. I think I told you guys that, and it overheated. The temperature shot up to like 250 or 60. Thankfully we were able to shut it off. No damage done, but the Jeep would not bleed itself because the radiator is lower than the engine neck. So if you look over here, you can see how it's lower. Now it's always been that way since the build, because the way these hoods work is they slope down like most hoods do, but there just wasn't enough room to bring it up where I wanted to and still clear everything and look how I wanted it to look. That being said, I got it back in here, we got it back home, and then we realized, okay, it did bleed. After we took it out there, it was bled. It just didn't have enough coolant inside. So what we had to do is I took the cap off while it was still hot and it was boiling, and it didn't like shoot out or anything, but it did create an air bubble back in the system. So when we put fluid back in, the thermostat was not opening up. So long story short, what I ended up doing and what I did when I first built this thing, I took the cap off here, I took the thermostat out, and then filled it from here, making sure the engine was completely full of coolant, all the way up to where the thermostat sits, which is behind this housing. So I knew, hey, when the temperature reaches 180 degrees, which is what this thermostat is, it will open up. And sure enough, it did, and everything is kosher and working like it should. So I just wanted to kind of recap everything. We installed this. He had made this. We are going to be powder coating this teal next time I'm up his house direction. Everything else came out really good. This came out, we're gonna powder coat this probably as well. Just looks really bad now, so we'll repowder coat that. We were able to get the hose size the exact same. We went down in size here, and that turned out great, so we're really happy with how that turned out. and everything else just works out great. The fan is mounted solid, the new radiators in, no leaks, and most importantly of all, it is cooling like it should, and I couldn't be more happy with how this turned out. So we are ready for summertime now, and we do not need to worry about this thing overheating and leaking like it was. Just for reference, I still have the old radiator, and let's just say this was absolutely a mess. You can see the main leak right in here, and this is where the fan shroud that I had was hitting. Now we have it standing off of the radiator a couple millimeters, but yeah, this is a piece of junk now. We can scrap it for aluminum. It's probably what I will do, because I don't weld aluminum and I'm not gonna fool with that. So we're back in business, but thank you guys for watching, hanging in. I know it's been a weird video, but we got it all squared away. Couldn't be more happy. The fan's kicking on like it should, and temperatures are actually a lot cooler than they were before. So it's technically the same radiator. The only thing I did notice that's different, this has a spot right here. Typically this is for like transmission coolers that you can put in here. This radiator doesn't have it right here, so I'm wondering if the extra space for where the trans cooler would be is making any difference, or maybe it's just the radiator being newer. And you know, maybe what we could do is cut this radiator open and see how much junk is inside, or it could be that because there was some leaks, it just wasn't being efficient. Either way, it might be fun to cut this one open and see how clogged up it was after, let's see, almost 3 years, I guess, of driving it. So anyways, thank you guys for checking out this channel. Don't forget, also check out my cousin's channel. I will link it in the description below. And yeah, thank you guys. Keep grinding. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.